metric because it tells my capability. What am I capable of? When I perform the task, what kind of experience my customer will get? I can know upfront because my process is predictable, right? Six Sigma is a methodology. It guides people step by step. The whole training program is, a 15 simple steps you are going to learn. After the introduction session, you will be taken through a step-by-step approach. It is a methodology. You master all the 15 steps, you are a master of producing, achieving the efficiency and effectiveness. And there are two approaches Six Sigma gives. One is DMAC, another one is DMAT V. You know when to use DMAC, you know when to use DMAT V. And then Six Sigma is a way of management. It measures people, it selects people very correctly. Who is fit for a particular task? That is called management. And the belt level will speak, right? Why do we wear belt? To keep the pant tacked, isn't it? So the belt color is an indication of the capability an individual has got in contributing to the organization's growth by the improvement of process effectiveness and process efficiency for which he is connected. And then it is a philosophy. Whatever we are discussing, it is not only applicable for Six Sigma project, any project. I hope if all of you are able to understand everything I am speaking right from the beginning, that means whatever I speak is a philosophy, right? You can use it wherever you want. So it's a number, it's a methodology, it's a people management tool, and it is a philosophy. And ultimately, it gets you profit growth, not in a trial and error way. Profit growth, which is sustainable. I achieve result and then result drops tomorrow. Is it an improvement? No. So sustainable profit growth, predictable profit growth, and at the same time, desirable profit growth following the laws and regulations, right? And that is a Six Sigma methodology. So there are 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. You will be diving deeper into each phase. Phase-wise, step-wise, you will be trained. But what is that majorly you are supposed to do in define? Define means you express your pain in using some numbers. So what is why? The bigger why? The pain metric. Every problem will have a pain metric. Can I say?
Yes.
Every problem will have a pain metric. That is called the bigger why. If one single number is not enough to describe the pain, what will you do? You use multiple number. If you use multiple number, then y is now breaking down into y1, y2, y3, y4. Am I right? y1, y2, y3, y4 are nothing but the metrics which are collectively required to be improved to improve your bigger y. All of you understand what is y, right? So if you want to solve a problem, sometimes it will be one single y, sometimes it will be multiple y. And y will always depend on x. Y will always depend on x. For example, your test mark is a y. Can somebody tell me it depends on certain the factors on which it depends? Your test mark depends on few factors. Can you throw some factors now? It depends on your attendance.
Passing percentage, passing marks.
No, passing percentage itself is a y. Isn't it? Passing percentage is a y. I can't say passing percentage is 100%. If I say passing percentage is 100%, then I'm bluffing.
Passing marks, I mean.
But many people ask us this question before joining, and we tell them that our passing percentage is 100%. If something is y, you can't judge on its value without judging the x. Am I correct? So y is a dependent variable, and x are the independent variable. X are otherwise called as the cost factors. X are otherwise called the cost factors. So you understand y, you understand x. If my y is not healthier, for example, your test mark is not 60, less than 60, will it lead to some consequences? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Those are called Z variable. Every project, you should understand, you will be connecting the X, Y, and Z. Your goal is to optimize Y, but I cannot touch the Y directly. So I will touch the X so that I will be able to impact the Y, or I will be able to optimize the Y. When I optimize the Y, my Z will also get optimized. Clear? X, Y, and Z. If you know what are the X, what are the Y, what are the Z, problem is defined. Is that clear to all of you? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Good. And now I know X, Y, Z. Now I will go and measure all of them. Why should I measure? I want to understand what happened in the past. I also want to understand what is happening currently. And so I will make a judgment what will happen in the future. This is statistics. Understanding the past, understanding the present, and predicting the future is statistics. See, statistics, always you can escape saying that you are confident only by 95%, isn't it? So you predict something, but sometimes always still there is a chance that what you expected may not happen. So all of you agree with me, right? And so though we work with the numbers and very careful enough to predict correctly, always there is a chance for what you predicted may not happen. But all that you need to do is leave only a smaller percentage for such thing to happen. The remaining is called what? Confidence level, right? So measure in such a way that your understanding on the past, present, and prediction on the future happens beautifully. You correctly understand your current level of performance, baseline performance. I say the defect is 10%. Is it really 10%? When I measure, I understand it is not 10%, it is 18%. People are doing some mistake and then saying that it is 10%. But only when I actually collect the data in real time, I realize that my defect percentage is 18%. Right? So all these corrections will happen in the measure phase. You are finding a way to measure correctly without measurement error. That is your goal in measure phase. Do you think this is important, measuring correctly?
Yes.
If you think it is not important, then no, measure phase is not required. If you think it is important, then measure phase activities are required. Don't just go with the statements. Don't just go with the voice of customer and voice of business. Validate them. Because you are going to make a major change in the process. The process before project and after project is going to be different. You are the change agent now. You should not make an unnecessary change. You should not make a wrong change. So you have to be very careful that whatever people speak and whatever people share with you are the facts. For that, measuring correctly is very important. If the doctor diagnoses your body wrongly and then gives you a treatment, how many of you will tolerate? None of you will tolerate, right? So it is very, very important we measure without error. At least if you measure with error, you should know the percentage of error. For that, you must learn certain tools and techniques. So you will know by yourself that this is the data. My decision is data driven, but my data has this much percentage of error. You know your limitations. If possible, you improve it, reduce the error. And this is the major job in measure. And then you move on to the analyze. Why do you want to analyze? Why do you want to analyze? You wanted to analyze for the gap in the performance. Your current performance is understood with the data. You call it baseline. And target value will be there. For Y, you have kept the target. For Y, you have kept the target. Your test mark is only 62. The batch average is only 62. That is why we have kept the pass mark as 60. Do you know why we kept the pass mark as 60? Our batch average is only 62. We improve the training and then batch average is 90. Then what will be our pass mark? 80. Right? And something like that. So we really wanted to analyze our baseline, and then we also could have fixed the target, and the difference between the baseline and the target is called the gap in performance. Why a gap exists? What are the causes? Now we are talking about the X variable. In define phase, we were talking about Y variable. We are also talking about Z variable. Why do we talk about Z variable? To convince my top management. Am I correct? This is the problem, which is why if you don't solve the problem Y, if you don't fix the Y, Z will happen to the company. Z are the consequence. But how will you fix the Y? You know Y is a dependent variable, and so X are involved, and those X you will identify in the analyze space. A crime has happened, and the criminal has to be identified. And identifying the criminal is not just enough to release the judgment. Evidence is required. You have identified the root cause, and that is not just enough to make major changes in the organization. You as a researcher, you as a Six Sigma expert, you as a black belt, you identified the root cause. Do you think you have to convince your boss to make changes in the process? Am I correct? You alone understanding the root cause is not good enough. You must make everyone around you understand the root cause. Statistical validation is important. Like, so how the advocate maybe submits the evidence, same way you should also submit the evidence for the root causes. And that is the main job in the analyze space. And then you move on to improve. Once you understand, oh, these are the root causes, let's say X1, X2, X3, X4, so on are the factors, out of which X3 is the culprit. Now, how will you solve the problem? Now you have understood that X3 is pulling down your Y. So you will optimize the X3. If I optimize the X3, what will happen? My Y will get optimized. If I control the calories I am consuming, what will happen to my weight? Weight will also get controlled. How many of you think you can control the weight directly without controlling the other thing? In like a magic, you are showing a class and then your weight changes. That means it's not possible. Such variables are called Y variable. The defect percentage is 10%. Can you make the defect percentage 10 to 6 in no time?
No.
It's not possible. Then it is a Y variable. But some changes you can do in no time. That is an X variable. Hope all of you understand the difference between X variable and Y variable. Right. And then we have done the analysis and improve phase. Improve phase is optimizing the critical X, which you have proved in the analyze. Now you are optimizing. Now when I optimize X3, my Y will get optimized. And my Y is optimized. Now my process is problem free. Right? Now I have fixed the problem. Now I don't want the same problem to come again. Now that by going through the define, measure, analyze, improve, how many of you understand you have learned a lot of lessons? Am I correct? By defining the problem, you could have learned certain new things. During measurement, you could have learned many things, and then you redefined your problem. What you thought as 10% is actually 18%. These are all the learnings in measure. And then analyze, and then improve. Will there be a lot of lessons learned? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Pass on the entire lessons learned, the knowledge of the lessons learned to the process owners and the stakeholders, so that they don't invite the problem again. Because these stakeholders only invited the problem. Now you are educating them. Our parents are passing us a lot of knowledge. Am I correct? Our father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, what are they doing? They are trying to somehow control us, not get into the problem in real life. Same thing you need to do so that the same problem cannot come again in the same process. This is called the Six Sigma methodology. There are lots of tools and techniques you are going to learn only to perform the activities inside each phase, or the steps, I would say. Every phase, there are 3 steps. Is that clear? DMAC? I always say DMAC is a superior methodology. There are several methodologies exist. It's only my own statement. I say it is superior because it takes into account every aspect of problem solving. It not only takes care of today, but also the future. That's why the control phase is included, right? So these are the steps. Define